Hi, everyone. I'm Tammy with Culture Focus Magazine. How are you all doing today?
Well,
Hey, Tammy, we're good.
Nice to meet you all. Congratulations. The mid-season premiere is underway for Tyler Perry's Bruh. I know you guys must get this question all the time, but what is it like working with Tyler Perry?
we do get that all the time. It's for me, it's work. It's good. We're creating and seeing him create. It's an honor. It's an honor to work with him. I don't really describe the experience other than a learning experience is what it is for me.
Yeah, it must be the same for all of you, right?
Yeah, being able to see someone who's done so much over such a long period of time and following his career and watching him up close, it's an honor. It really is.
I definitely can imagine. Bruh, listen, this show is bringing thought-provoking content, fun content, funny content, deep content. In what ways do you think your individual characters play a role, especially to the men who watch? Does it teach them to be better friends, better men, have better relationships? How do you think your particular character play a role for the guys who watch?
That's a great question. I believe I hope my character, I think it can show people that's like that character, John, themselves, how they need to, I think, find themselves and go after the things they believe in and move out their mom's house and stay on their own 2 feet. I think it shows them also another side as it relates to their brotherhood with their friends, who has your back, and really value the people that's next to you, that really cares about your best interests, sometimes when you don't even see it. So I would hope that the show shows and depicts that and hopefully, shines a light on that makes people really evaluate their own relationships and brotherhoods, that they really appreciate and value the people they have around them that truly cares about them, and stop giving those people a hard time when they're trying to, give you advice about, things about your life.
Yeah.
Love it. Anyone else?
I feel Bill is teaching dudes what not to do with women. Don't lead a woman on when you sure, fellas, okay. Hear me out. If you not ready, say you not ready. Just be honest. I think that's what ladies want, is transparency and honesty. So I feel like Bill is literally a lesson in if you're not ready to fully commit, fellas, run the streets. If the streets is calling your name, go to them. But you can't have it. I'm just saying, you can't have it both ways. That's just all I'm saying. You can't have it both ways. You either need to be fully committed and leave the streets alone. But if the streets is calling you, do what you do. Ain't no judgment on my end, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. I think that's what Bill is teaching people out there.
Seriously.
I was going to add to that. In season 1, as Tom, my boss at the hospital, my chief, is kind of sexually harassing me in an interesting way. And I actually had a guy come up to me who watched the show, and he's like, "Hey man, I watched the show, I'm a fan." He goes, "I really appreciated that y'all told that story about that reverse sexual harassment, because I dealt with that in my personal life. And it's a story that's never told from a male's perspective happening to you from a female." So that really kind of touched me, because it was the fact that we can shed light on things that are not often talked about in film and TV medium, but people deal with. So I was happy to hear that somebody connected to the story we're telling.
Yes. Phillip, how about you?
Yeah, for Mike, it's twofold. I hope that people can learn to lean on the people who love them, and learn that it's okay to do so. And also, as a viewer, understand that you might have your judgment about somebody, but there's always something going on that you don't know about. So before you make that judgment and commit to what you think about somebody, understand who they are, and everybody's going through something. So be compassionate and empathetic.
Yes. On a lighter note, how do y'all characters handle Mama Alice? How do y'all put up with her?
We don't know.
Because we have to.
Serious, especially for your character. How do you do it?
Oh my God. I love, and people love it, and I absolutely love it too, because I think people have people like that, whether it be their mom or their uncle or their father, that drunk uncle that just won't sit down. It's just that person who's authentically themselves. And I think sometimes that people are so putting on a facade, and always you're meeting representatives, that when you do meet somebody that's unapologetically them, it's so much sometimes, but you appreciate it because you at least know what you're going to get, and they're never phony. They're always being themselves. So I think her character is that. So as much as she drives us up a wall, I think it's such a real moment where it's just like, I'm gonna be who I am, and you like it or love it, and I think that there's something about that type of character and personality in the real world as it portrays on TV too, that I think we all love, whether we say it or not, or whether it's not always convenient to be in that dynamic with that person, but it's something you appreciate. I know I do. So there's certain people in the world, you just like, I love them. That's kind of how you say it. They'd be crazy, but you gotta love them. So I think that's my mom character for me.
We definitely love Mama Alice for sure. Other than your own storylines, even though your friendship tribe, all the stories are intertwined, other than your own, whose storyline are you most excited about the most?
For the second season, for the mid-season?
For the mid-season, yes. Whose storyline are you excited, other than your own?
Honestly, John's. John finally got a nice, pretty young lady interested in the brother. And all I'm going to say is stay tuned, people, because how you think it's going to end, you're wrong. So I'm excited to see my boy John, how he deals with that. Because if you remember from season 1, he had a nice, pretty little, thing interested in him, and he dropped the ball. So I'm curious how my boy John does with this one. And y'all just stay tuned, because it's going to be a ride. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I love it.
I'm excited to see Mike. I want to see what happens with Mike second half. Mike is always kind of like, headstrong and womanizing and all that. But I think that we're going to see a different side of Mike, and, we're going to start to peel back the layers of like what's underneath that.
Yeah, and I would say John for me as well, because John leads with unacceptance of himself. Like he understands this is where my life is. I wish it was different. And then he finally finds somebody who's like, I like you just the way you are. And I just love that little nugget, and watching him navigate that. And like Monti said, how you think it's going to end. It does not.
How about you, Barry?
I'm excited to see Phil, who plays Mike, and Bill's who plays Monty, who plays Bill's storyline. For Bill, it's kind of like watching Tom and Jerry. It's kind of like looking to see what Tom gets himself into this time, kind of thing. Like, that's how I like watching Bill's storyline. It's kind of like, what you gonna do this time? Like, what do you got for me today? You know what I mean? Like, what is the mischief you will find yourself in today, Bill? And then for Mike, I look forward to seeing his journey. Mike, to me, is such a complex character in the show. He's probably the most complex, in my opinion, because there's so many layers that cuts and goes so deep. And I think that, that you get to see. I think Tom's layered too, but I don't think you get to see it as deep yet. But I think you get to see Mike's. And so I'm excited to see the layers and how deep it can go. And shout out to Mr. Perry for writing so deep, and shout out to Phil being such an amazing actor, taking it there. So, and I'm just giving, y'all don't know what I'm talking about, but you'll see as the time progresses, it's just like, wow. And it's deep. So yeah.
I can tell that your chemistry is not just dope on screen, but off screen as well. Anybody you're gonna watch the mid-season premiere with? Any of your bros, your family, booze? Who you're gonna watch it with?
Wife, because she's in my same household, because we still kind of dealing with COVID. so it's, you know, having too many people over, you know, I'm trying to stay COVID free. So no, just the closest. But I mean, we all get up on the chat after we watch it. We got a chat with the whole cast, the main cast. So we always end up watching. When y'all watch it, you're like, oh, what you think? So we kind of, even if we apart, we always stay connected, and it's always fun to see everybody's response, because we work so fast with Tyler, we don't really know in the moment and remember exactly the order of how we did things. So it's oftentimes it's a surprise because we don't get to see each other work because we're so busy working ourselves. So it's always good to see, like, oh, we read the script, but how did they play out? How did Mahdi play this scene? How did Phil, how did Barry do that? So that's the exciting part for us to see each episode. Like, okay, let's see where our bro took it.
Yes. Yeah, I'll be watching it with my wife, Jasmine. So I look forward to watching. She loves the show. She likes watching the show when I don't even want to watch the show. She'll sit there and we'll be eating, and she'll turn on the show. I'm like, why are you watching this? She's like, I like it. I don't know watch it. I'm like, but we saw it already. Like, you don't want to see it again? Like, not really. Like, okay.
I love it.
But every time I watch it, I appreciate it, and I see something more I didn't see before, and I enjoy it. It's actually, we were talking about a particular scene in season 1 that I do want to see now, that I want to go back and I want to watch it. And something special, obviously, about season 1 for me, because that's just when we were finding it. But it's some moments on there that we were talking about that made me happy today. And I was like, yeah, I want to go back and watch it. And I hear people talk about it. This group when we're at the bar, and we're all at the bar, and we're talking about feelings. So I want to go back and watch that. And then Valerie comes in there talking about messing with my Tom, because he had slept with her. So anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. I forgot your question, but yeah, I'll watch it with my wife.
With your wife, that's awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for your value time today. Keep up the great work. I'm so excited for everyone to see the mid-season premiere.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thanks so much, Tammy. Appreciate your time.